It's Friday. My name's Colin Thomas. I'm an Averitt truck driver. I just got home at the end of the week. It's about 5:30 right now. I'm unpacking my stuff and all that, what you do at the end of the week. You can see it's raining outside and it's kind of thundering. I'm at the Averitt Service Center in Knoxville, which if you've watched my videos before, you know this is where I live and where I begin and end every week. This video I'm going to try to keep it short so that you don't have to waste a lot of time sort of getting straight to the point. And maybe the point is, for a lot of people, what kind of runs did I do this week? How much money did I make for doing those runs? And how much time did I spend in terms of when did I start my week and at what time? And when did I end my week and also what time? So let's get right to it. So these papers show you 2 weeks of trips. These are the holiday weeks. So like the Christmas and New Year's holidays. So over there at the top left, you can see beginning on Monday, 12/24, I got paid 450 miles, just holiday pay. I didn't actually do any work at all. On Christmas Day, the 25th, Tuesday, same exact thing, 450 miles for nothing, for holiday pay. I actually began that week early on Tuesday morning, so that was Christmas morning. So in a way, I sort of got double paid on that day. But in fact, I did have to work. I had to work after having 5 days at home. The week before that, I came home early on Thursday. So I had great holidays, and I have nothing to complain about there. In any case, on Christmas Day, I went from Knoxville to Mount Laurel, New Jersey for 619 miles. Then from Laurel to Sayreville, New Jersey, that was an empty move. And then on to Noonan, Georgia for 56 plus 856 equals 912 miles. From Noonan, Georgia to White, Georgia, empty move, I got paid 83 miles. And actually at that point, that load got called off. So I got paid for completing that empty move and then was immediately told to go and do something completely different. So from White, Georgia, I did another empty move to Rome, Georgia for 34, and then on to Monterey, Tennessee for 169. That equaled 203. But Averitt pays 400 miles, as you know if you've watched my videos before, if you pick up and drop off the load. Then from Monterey to Knoxville, I got paid for an empty move going home. That added up to 3,001 miles times 46 cents equals 1,380. So I added all of my holiday mileage together with my actual work mileage in order to come up with that number. That's the best week I've ever had at Averitt. I also had a very close second to that, 1,378, which if you watched my other videos, you saw that happened. I would have got paid more. I was supposed to get a detention, 60 to 80 bucks, if I had showed up on time. I had to wait about 6 hours and something, and Averitt pays $20 per hour after 2 hours if you show up on time. That's regardless actually of whether it's Averitt's fault or your fault. I mean, when I say Averitt's fault, I mean sometimes planning makes it hard to get there on time. Other times it's clearly your fault. Both have happened to me at Averitt. Things like that happen. One time it was their fault, and this week it was my fault. I got there at 4:08 in the morning, a.m. I had to be there at 4, so that was a lesson that hurt a little bit. I would have had, an additional 80 bucks probably, which would have taken me up to 1460, which would have been a perfect week. In any case, let's move on to the next holiday week, beginning with Monday, New Year's Eve, which is not written down there because I didn't get paid anything and I didn't work that day. Tuesday, New Year's Day, I got 450 miles. Then I began actually working on Wednesday morning at 4 a.m. I went from my Knoxville Service Center to London, Kentucky for 99 miles. Averitt pays $50 for local loads. That's anything like from Knoxville to Knoxville, you'd get 50 bucks. That one would have paid about 45 or 46 bucks if purely mileage pay, but it pays 50 because it's going to count as a local load, so just slightly more. From there, I did London Service Center in Kentucky to Hebron, Kentucky. That was 0 empty miles plus 150 miles. Then from Hebron to Erlanger to the next service center, which is the Cincinnati Service Center. That's actually in Kentucky, which you know if you've watched my videos before. From there, I went to Cartersville, Georgia. So I got 10 for the empty plus 393 equals 403. from Cartersville, Georgia to the Rock, empty move, then on to Knoxville, Tennessee for 109 plus 258 equals 367. I picked it up, I dropped it off, so that's a 400-mile minimum load. From Knoxville to Knoxville, that's basically from the receiver to my service center. I get paid nothing for that. That's an empty move, and it counts as 0 even though it's actually about 7 miles. This week, you can see my mileage was really light. 1,403 times 46 cents equals $645 plus $50 for that one that counts as a local load equals $695. So that is definitely on the low end of an Averitt week, but I include it here because you should see what you're in for if you end up, potentially working at Averitt. So those were my holiday weeks. Happy New Year to you all. Stay tuned because in the very near future, I'm going to do a 2018 video. So what I mean is, like, I worked for Averitt for about 34 weeks in 2018. I'm going to do an average of all of those weeks so that you can see what I got on an average week working for Averitt.